I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking about the great teams, the great announced teams
Yes.
uh, in 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 pro wrestling history. I think Jr. and Jerry Lawler are number one. I would put Gorilla Monsoon working with Jesse Ventura in big events is like number two, and Jesse with Bobby Heenan doing this is like number three, and then Vince working with Jesse probably number four for great teams of pro wrestling. Now we did this. This was the studios in Stanford,
So
and
this isn't Baltimore at this point.
no, this is Stanford.
Okay.
Okay, we did it studios in Stanford, and I would a lot of times me and Lord Alfred would be tucked away in a sound booth, and they would pitch to matches. And I don't think Alfred and I'm not so sure Alfred and sometimes they would just take the matches from like Challenge or Superstars
Right.
and use the commentary. But sometimes they would take dark matches, and Alfred and I would voice it over in the booth as this show was going on. So it's kind of like almost kind of like live to tape that we would
Wow.
do it.
I wouldn't
So
have guessed that.
yeah, so this was really cool.
We're gonna see a lot of interesting things on here too. We're gonna see King Duggan and King Haku. Well, no spoilers. We're gonna see the debut of Lanny Poffo. They're already making reference to Zeus. You know, what is he doing? Is he gonna be and of course Heenan's like he's the star of the movie, and they're hyping the premiere, and it's a really fun segment. And we're starting with Brutus the freaking Barber Beefcake,
Hmm.
who I've given a hard time to over the years on our podcast, but man, in this era, the dude got super over. I mean, this character really resonated with kids, and they loved it. And wow, look at Tony Leon. Look who the referee is here too.
Oh, rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion right
Mm-hmm.
there. How would you describe the enhancement talent chosen here for Brutus the Barber Beefcake? Just what he's wearing today, his hairstyle. Could you describe that for us?
Don't know where they were, but and here they're doing one of those classic fly-in interviews,
Yes,
which I thought was just very, very well done.
agree.
Um, they knew how to do things back then.
This was filmed in Omaha at the
Yeah.
Civic Auditorium on
Okay.
April 26, 1989. It was a sellout, 10,310
Wow.
fans there.
Well, Tony Leone to me looks like a guy that they just walked outside, and as the people were queuing up, they say, "Hey, you want to wrestle tonight?" And he went, "Yeah." Said, "Okay, we got some extra black boots and some trunks that may not fit you. Don't shave your legs, and you can wrestle." That's what it looked like.
I
You
mean,
know,
that looks like somebody's uncle, at a barbecue, and he's got his swimming trunks on, but
mhm.
maybe everybody wishes they had a little longer, you know.
Right? It's amazing now that when we go out and wrestle in these towns, we bring in what they call local enhancement talent. Back then, I don't think they had them as much as they have them now because there's obviously a lot more independent wrestling now than there was in '89.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think they probably had just as many.
You really think so? Just as many of
Well, you
them?
know what? It was a more closed society. It's not like you could just email somebody. You had to kind of know somebody.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I've heard like the Italian Stallion. I mean, you've heard stories from the Hardys over the years where
Right.
he would bring like a van full of guys in. So maybe that's it. There's a handful of guys, and they would WWE would say, "Hey, we're coming to your town," or maybe they would know, "Hey, you're coming. Do you want me to bring a
Right.
van full of guys you can beat up?"
Yeah. Well, that's obviously email and the internet changed everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's putting him out now. What is rugged Ronnie Garvin, the referee here for? This is an angle, I guess.
Yeah, this is storyline. Of
Okay.
course, he's had this big feud with uh, Greg the Hammer Valentine,
Yes. Okay.
and they're talking on commentary during this match. They're talking about, or Bobby Heenan is talking about how short he is. So
Oh,
they're building all that up.
okay. Got it. Gonna cut off some hair. Don't you do it.
I've heard through the years that, like George South had said, that whenever they would do this,
Hmm.
getting your hair cut meant as Zach Ryder might say, Matt Cardona might say, they pad the lope, get a little extra cheese on your Whopper, as JR might say. So if
Yeah.
there's a little extra money in cutting your hair, guys like George South would say, no problem. Start growing that mullet out.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, he would not shave your head. He would just cut some hair, and you could have it
Yeah.
trimmed up and get a little extra money.
Why not?
Little extra money for some trim. Can't beat that, can you, Conrad?
Man, everybody loves a little extra money for some trim.
Sure do.
That's an old man joke, and I love you for it, by the way.
Speaking of old man jokes, you come across any Egyptians lately?
Yeah, I did actually, down at the what was his name? I know his last name was Dickhead. Oh,
Dickhead, yeah.
Nicholas. Yeah.
Nicholas Dickhead, yeah.
He was down there at Richard's Italian Bistro in Gainesville, I believe. I think their catchphrase is having a hard time holding these pepperonis down.
Just sometimes in the world, you come across gifts that keep on giving.
What world do you live in?
It's a different world from you.
No, that was a line he said.
Oh, okay. He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he's had a few cocktails, sometimes he'll hit people with, "What world do you live in?" And then, as you've heard a million times, people don't get it.
Yeah.
People don't get it. What
Yeah.
world do you live in?
Oh,
I did like that he gave $1,000 tip
yeah.
to tell one staff member
Uh-huh.
to tell another staff member to kiss his ass. Because I'll be honest, anybody who wants to pay me $1,000 to tell somebody else to kiss someone else's ass,
Yes.
yeah, I'm in.
Mm.
Man, look
Mean
at
Gene.
Gene. God.
Yeah. Any heyday, buddy. Going across the angles. That is in the background there that you saw was, and I think he worked there for a long, long time. He still may work there. There's a guy named Kevin Quinn
Oh, wow.
who worked. That is what we called Edit One. That was the biggest edit suite, the main edit suite. All their edit suites were very small. But that's Kevin Quinn there.
That's like
And
the classic background for so many WWF shots,
right,
though.
right. And the table to Gene's elbow, right of his elbow there, or the
Where
desk.
the magazine is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where Kevin Dunn would sit during the edits.
Okay.
For
What do you think he's up to these days?
Kevin Dunn,
Yeah.
anything he damn well pleases, man. Counting his money, right?
Yes. By the way, you see Jake the Snake here taking some of the $1 Million Man's money and handing it to little kid fans in the crowd.
Uh-huh.
And when I say money, I mean $100 bills.
Yeah,
And these kids they're showing it close up. They're losing their mind.
yeah,
This was a little thing. They didn't have to do it all the time.
right.
But man, look at the kids just go absolutely bananas for it. I mean, it's a great segment on TV that really only costs a few $100.